Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft News and Updates, and we've got quite a bit for you today, guys, so stick around because there's a lot to cover, so we're going to get right into it. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below. First up, exciting news on the Just Flight Facebook page. We have the first screenshots from the Bluebird Simulations 757. This is an aircraft that I am super excited about. I had the 757 and the 767 for P3D, and I loved, or excuse me, not P3D, X-Plane 11, and I loved flying these aircraft. There's just something really cool about them. They've got that big, heavyweight feel to them. They've got those the quad landing gear wheels. I mean, they just look cool. They just look like big, beefy machines without being too over crazy. Now, we don't have any kind of initial, let me back up a little bit, I went a little fast there. We don't have any real initial information outside of some, teaser screenshots, as you can see here. But we do know that the aircraft isn't even set to release until mid-2023. So we still got quite a ways to go, approximately a year, maybe more. However, it is still very awesome to see that the aircraft is in development. These are obviously very preliminary, very early access screenshots. So we can expect many other changes to come to the aircraft as it goes on. The one thing that Bluebird Simulations has made very clear is that the aircraft is going to be mid-level complexity, indicating that it's going to be sort of an aircraft that is suitable for all skill level bases. Now, that tells me that we're not going to be expecting anything as far as the high fidelity that we can expect from like PMDG, but I think for simulation purposes, mid-level complexity actually says a lot to me. It lets me know that it's not going to be ridiculously easy, and it's not going to be something that's going to be boring to fly, yet keeping with the systems and features, hopefully this is all speculation, but hopefully keeping the system and features as much to real-world operation as possible, but making them a little bit easier to manage and hopefully reducing some of the learning curve as you go along. You don't have to dive so deep into the aircraft where you spend weeks and weeks just training on it in order to actually complete your first flight in it, but still offering that sense of realism and flying the Boeing 757. I am definitely going to be jumping all over this one. I know it's a long ways out, but I've been waiting for a 757 or a 767 series. I absolutely love these aircraft. Again, head over to the Just Flight Facebook page if you guys want to read the whole article. Next up is something that I was sort of shocked to see, and you guys hopefully will understand why in a minute. Captain Sim, after the 777 debacle, or whatever you want to call it, or how you want to categorize it, has released the C-130 Captain Exterior for MSFS. Captain Sim ditches the virtual cockpit for this release, according to FS Elite. I was blown away by this article and couldn't believe it when I read it for myself, but it's absolutely true. So you have a complete full external and cabin view of the C-130. However, there is no cockpit for it. You must use the external views and the external HUD in order to fly this aircraft. And you can purchase it from Captain Sim at $14.99. Here are the features that are claimed to be with the aircraft. You guys watch my channel. You guys know that I'm obviously going to be definitely offering my opinion on this. And my opinion on this is I think this is sort of a low blow and a lazy release from Captain Sim. Just really not redeeming themselves after the 777 issue, being a 747 with the 777 exterior, essentially is what that came out to be, for those of you who may not be aware. All of the internals of the 777 were 747. All the gauges and engine readouts were that of the 747 default. And now here we are with the C-130 payware aircraft, $15 for simply the external view. Never being able to fly directly inside the cockpit, embracing yourself and immersing yourself inside the cockpit of a C-130 is completely out of the option for this particular aircraft, and yet it is labeled as a payware. I am Sort of shocked by this one. You guys let me know how you feel about it. You know, I am only one opinion, one voice in millions. So, you know, I'm sure there are plenty that this will appease to or appeal to. But definitely my thoughts on it is for $15. You wouldn't even have to go with a very fancy cockpit. I understand the flight model or all the systems aren't functional. But to have an aircraft in a simulator that you are unable to sit in the cockpit of is just a little crazy to me, I have to be honest. So again, comment down below, shout out guys, what do you think about a $15 aircraft with no cockpit? Next up on the list, some awesome news for third-party developers and anyone who is interested in true weather radar. The implementation or initial implementation of the weather and terrain APIs is expected to be seen in Sim Update 10. Now it says Sim Update 10 Plus, which makes me believe that you're going to have an initial implementation in 10 that will therefore or thereafter be later progressed and completed as the later updates come on down the line. But as we all know, there are many services and systems within Microsoft Flight Simulator that offer the ability to include a weather radar that just flat out doesn't particularly work well. Hopefully with this new implementation of the weather and terrain API, we will start seeing things like in the Flybywire A320 or the, you know, any of the third-party applications, the working title G3000, G1000 avionics systems, will be able to see actual working and realistically operating weather radars. I think this is a really awesome one for flight planning and being able to really get into, once again, that immersion of experiencing the weather and planning for the weather as you begin to approach it with the weather radar actually being functional. You'll actually be able to plot whether or not you need to descend or deviate your course based on certain weather systems that may be in front of you. So small piece of information, and yet I think it opens up a bunch of huge doors. So super excited to see this one. Really crossing my fingers that this makes it, because it would be really awesome to see the weather radar implemented properly. Next up on the list here, we have SimWorks Studios releases the Vans RV14 for €14.99. This little aircraft is something that I'm definitely going to be doing a review on, so stick around for that over the next couple of days here. But it is a hot little aircraft. This thing is a screamer. A ton of fun. The visual fidelity is right on par. It's a great experience in VR. I actually got myself feeling a little on the side if I wasn't careful as close as I got to the ground. But like I said, the visual fidelity of it is absolutely awesome. The flight model is fun and enjoyable. Definitely tricky. You definitely feel that high performance nature of it. Now, the cool part is they actually worked directly with Vans to make sure that the aircraft was as accurate to real world behavior and what's the word I'm looking for? Specifications as possible. So it's really awesome when you see these kind of cool aircraft come out. It's even better when you hear that they are working directly with the manufacturer to make sure that they nail it. So here's all the specifications for the systems that were used during the testing and what they have determined to be minimum requirements for the aircraft. You have full manuals available for the aircraft, as well as a few extras, as you can see here. You got a paint kit and a liveries pack. Again, stay tuned for a review on this aircraft over the next few days. It was a ton of fun, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy this little aircraft. But trust me, right now out of the gate, I would recommend buying this one. All right, finally, last on our list for today's news is a confirmed release order for the PMDG 737 from the FS Elite site. Now, the 737, again, has been confirmed that it is going to be coming out soon, quote unquote, but there was a lot of speculation as to which order it was coming out in. Now, we do know for a fact that the 737-700 series will be the first of the aircraft to be released, but then following, the planned schedule is 10 to 12 weeks following will be the 600 series, the 800, the 900, and then finally the MAX. Now, the other cool thing they did put in this article that was interesting information is that the way that the workload is split up amongst the teams, that even if one aircraft is delayed, say the 737-600 is the example that's quoted here in the article, if the 600 series is delayed, that will not impact the corresponding releases following it. So, you know, if the 600 series delayed to 10 weeks after its initial date, 2 weeks after that, you should still see the 700 series. They also go on to say in this article that they could actually completely scrap any one of the versions and it would still not impact the release date to the subsequent aircraft or the following aircraft after that. As far as the pricing goes, we are expected to hear a final price at some point this week. I am crossing my fingers for that because I'm very, very anxious to hear what that will be. As I reported in the previous news video in regard to the 737, there is going to be a $99.99 US dollar credit for those who purchased the PMDG 737 NGXU before 2020. Now, if you are wondering if you're one of those people who automatically get that credit, you simply need to log into your PMDG website account, and you should see that credit already reflected. It is something that will be there automatically. It is not something that will show up at a later time or that you have to go through any hoops to do. So if the credit is not there, then you simply are someone who did not qualify for that particular credit. So again, guys, really crossing my fingers for the release of the 737. I can't wait to have this. This is one of the ones that I'm definitely been anticipating for a very, very long time. That way I can fly my Southwest livery without any of you guys yelling at me. I used to do that in the A320 and the flak I got all the time, which I found pretty amusing. But anyways, I used to get so much crap for flying the Southwest A320 as it doesn't exist, which you're absolutely right. It does not. Southwest, to my knowledge, does not carry any A320 or Airbus series aircraft in their fleet. So all the more reason why I can't wait to see my 737. Plus, I remember the Zibo 737 from X-Plane. It was always an incredibly exciting aircraft to fly. I flew that far more often than I flew the A320 and X-Plane 11, and I'm anticipating this will likely be a similar scenario here. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this news update. As always, guys, be sure to stay subscribed, hit that like button. Let me know down in the comments below any information that I might have missed or your thoughts on any of the information that we reviewed today. And stay safe and healthy, and I will see you in the next one.